In this lesson, we'll be using the features available in SOLIDWORKS such as helix and spiral curves, reference planes, and swept boss to create a compression spring that is used frequently in robots. Let's first take a look at the finished spring. Notice that the spring is made up of three distinct parts: the two compressed sections and a single uncompressed section. The general process of creating a spring would be to sketch the individual curves first, then composite them into a single spring sketch. Lastly, we have to use the swept boss and base tool to give our sketch a three-dimensional definition. Let's begin by creating a new part. We'll sketch a circle centered at the origin on the top plane having a radius of 6.35 millimeters. Click OK and exit our sketch. Switch to the isometric view and under Features, Curves, select Helix and Spiral. Click on the circle we just created. Under Define By, select Height and Pitch. Set the height to 50.8 millimeters, pitch to 5.08 millimeters, 0 degree as the start angle, and clockwise rotation. Once all the fields have been completed, click OK to exit. In our Feature Manager design tree, click Top Plane and create a new sketch on it. Then we'll expand the Helix Spiral 1 subtree. Select Sketch 1 and use the Convert Entities tool. Click OK to exit the sketch. The Convert Entities tool allows us to copy the contour geometry of Sketch 1 onto our sketch plane. Now that we have created the main body of the spring, we need to sketch the top and bottom part of the spring for compression. Let's select Sketch 2 and use the Helix and Spiral feature once again. This time we'll set the Define By to Pitch and Revolution. Set the pitch to 2.54 millimeters. The number of revolutions to 2. Counterclockwise rotation. Start angle at 0 degrees. And reverse the direction. We've successfully sketched the bottom compression. Now we want to sketch the top. To do so, we'll need to use a reference plane. We can insert a reference plane to our helix by clicking on the top endpoint of our helix. Then go to Insert, Reference Geometry, and Plane. We'll click on the top plane in our Feature Manager tree for our second reference. Click OK, and now we have a reference plane at the top of our spiral. Using the Convert Entities tool, we'll duplicate the exact features on our top plane as we did on the bottom. In the Feature Manager design tree, open a sketch on Plane 1, select Sketch 1, and click Convert Entities. Now from the Feature Manager design tree, select Sketch 3 and make a new helix and spiral feature defined by Pitch and Revolution. Set the pitch to 2.54 millimeters, uncheck Reverse Direction, 2 revolutions, start angle at 0, and clockwise. Click OK and exit the sketch. Now we'll join together our 3 helix curves. Go to Curves, Composite Curves, and select Helix Spiral 1, 2, and 3 as the entities in our design tree, and click OK. We're almost finished with our compression spring. We just have to create a template from which the physical spring can be built. To do so, select the bottom endpoint of our sketch, create a new reference plane, and select the composite curve as the reference. Now we have a plane that is normal to our endpoint. Open up a new sketch on Plane 2 and draw a circle at the endpoint with a radius of 1.2 millimeters. Finally, we use the Swept Boss Base tool and select our circle and the composite curve as the profile and path respectively and accept the feature. We'll see our completed compression spring appear in the graphics area. This spring can be used for your robot or any other projects that you may participate in the future. In this lesson, we used the various features and tools in SOLIDWORKS such as helix and spiral curves, reference planes, and swept boss to create a compression spring.